My name is Nick Horton, and I want you to think legal tech. If you're like most people, you feel a little guilty when you click accept on the terms and conditions button when you haven't read the terms and conditions. I mean, we know we ought to, but would we be any smarter if we did? And what's the alternative? Yeah, I mean, we make our decisions based on trust. Do we trust the people we're dealing with or not? And it turns out that offline in business, we're doing a lot of the same thing. And that's not acceptable. We have no excuse because there's software that can help us. And that not knowing exactly what we're obligated to exposes us to liability, it costs us money, and it misses out on the huge potential of the underlying data. Like I said, there's no excuse. The problem's underlying causes and its effects are absurd. Okay? The base truth that most organizations don't know the exact content of all the contracts that they're obligated to is crazy. The lawyers write the contracts, they review the contracts. Why can't they tell us what's in the contracts? Well, it turns out, and what liabilities are we exposed to by not knowing? Well, it turns out that the hundreds, thousands, and in many cases, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of contracts that we're obligated by, it's simply information overload. Right? We know the headlines, we know a lot of the details, but we just can't know all the details. For the doubters, let me ask the following. If we know our legal obligations, all of our legal obligations, why is the biggest single legal cost associated with mergers and acquisitions always discovery? The juniors hate it because it's days and days and weeks and months of work, tedious work, but the partners, they love it because there's always a surprise in there somewhere, something you uncover that you can either defend against or exploit, right? Oh, and by the way, that discovery stuff, it's expensive. Yeah? Hours and hours and hours of work equals a big bill, and guess who's paying it? We are. So maybe we ought to do something about that. Well, what to do? Well, what to do turns out to be pretty straightforward. Okay, like most diets and exercise programs, it's short on dessert, it's long on hard work, but it's worth it. The first step is to put all your contracts in one place. Again, this sounds absurd, which it very well may be, but doesn't change the fact that we need to do it, okay? And it turns out it can also be a bit complicated because sometimes the question isn't what's in the contract, but which version of the contract is the valid version. Is it the one the CEO signed with the Mont Blanc pen? Or is it the electronic copy? And that electronic copy, is that valid? Is it in his inbox? And is it the one we signed electronically? How about that? Is that valid in country X? Is it valid in country Y? It could also be. Is it the version that this general counsel saved in her SharePoint solution? Do we have access to that SharePoint solution? Basta. This gets complicated. Not to mention attachments, addendums, stuff that we agreed to in emails subsequently. That's all legally binding. Pro tip, put it all in one place. All right, organize it. If you need to, digitize it, and then get yourself some software. All right? Because right now you're assuming your general counsel knows everything, and they don't. All right? They don't because we don't make it possible. We make it impossible for them to know everything. Okay? And they're smart, but they're not superhuman. Okay? Give them a break. While you're at it, while you're busy doing all of this, all those digitized contracts in one place in a piece of software where you can monitor it, manage it, analyze it, update it, that's data. Data's a powerful thing, right? It's going to tell you all sorts of interesting stuff like true facts that you can use to make decisions instead of opinion and assumptions, which, let's be honest, we do an awful lot of. Okay, data, that's powerful stuff. So go ahead, reduce your liability, save some money, get access to powerful data. Get busy. I'm Nick Horton from Think Legal Tech. The solution is out there.